And just like that, we went from fall to full-on winter conditions here in Summit County. Now, as we move into the start of a new ski season, I think it's a perfect time to look back at the Summit County real estate market for the month of October, and we'll also take a look at the full year to date through the first 10 months of the year. And of course, we're going to talk Fed rate cuts. Hi, it's Pete Deininger with the Breck Life Group right here in Breckenridge, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through some key takeaways for the broader Summit County real estate market through the first 10 months, and we'll zoom in specifically to Breckenridge. You know, I like to keep you informed about total number of sales in the month and all year to date. We'll take a look at inventory. Is inventory rising or falling? How are average days on market trending? And of course, the question everybody wants to know: how are prices doing? Now, as I've said before, we continue to get a lot of questions from people. You're calling, you're texting, you've got questions. We can't cover everything in this video, so if you've got questions about your specific situation, whether buying or selling here in Summit County and Park County, don't hesitate to give us a call. Let's get started. First off, let's talk about sales, because sales are really what drive all the other factors and data that we're going to cover in this report. So starting off with the broader Summit County real estate market, all property types, in the month of October, we saw 13% more closed transactions this year than we did 1 year ago. That's pretty special because we've been seeing a number of transactions, inching down compared to last year. So for the broader Summit County market in the month of October, we were up 13%. Now, when we zoom out and look at the whole year to date through Halloween, end of October, we were actually down 4% year to date compared to 1 year ago. So all of the other 9 months of the year have really, factored into us being below how we were pacing 1 year ago. Now, as we take a look at Breckenridge specifically, Breckenridge had an even busier month in October, up 24% more closed transactions this year than we did 1 year ago in October. And then zooming out again, year to date, Breckenridge down 1%, so not down as much as the broader Summit County market, but still not pacing as well as far as total number of transactions as last year. Now, just a reminder, we see this every year. November and December, we see a flurry of activity. We have a lot of buyers who, I like to call it the oh shoot moment. They realize as October's rolling around, we promised ourselves we were going to have our ski place by ski season, and lo and behold, we're now in November. So it's likely we're going to see a flurry of activity in November and December. And in fact, we've already heard from a lot of buyers who are scheduling property tours in this month. Next up, let's take a look at inventory, or the number of new listings to hit the market, both in October and full year to date. So for the month of October, we saw 13% more properties come to market, all property types around all of Summit County, than we did 1 year ago. And that was actually slightly slower than some other months that we've had. Total year to date for Summit County, we're up a full 21% more new listings than we had 1 year ago. And you'll remember, if you've been following these videos for a while, throughout 23 and 22, we saw fewer and fewer new listings every month as people have been hanging on to these cherished mountain homes. Interesting note, Breckenridge itself saw a 21% reduction in the number of new listings in October compared to 1 year ago. So that sort of flies in the face of everything we're seeing in the broader Summit County market. Next up, let's take a look at average days on market, or the time it takes for the average home to sell between going live and receiving and signing an offer. So in the month of October, we saw the average days on market jump 63%. But that's really a snapshot in time. When we zoom out and take a look at the full year, full calendar year, all property types around Summit County, it's about 38% longer this year to sell a home than it was 1 year ago. Now, that in and of itself sounds pretty shocking, but when you drill down and look at what those actual average days on market are. It was only 22 days year to date, the average time it takes for a property to sell. So we're here in a resort market where buyers are really patient and wait for just the right property, and to be able to sell your home in 22 days on average, still pretty good given everything else that's going on in the market. And finally, the most frequently asked question we hear from people when they're calling and texting us: how are prices doing around the county? Summit County, all property types year to date, up 6% year to date compared to 1 year ago. Now that is down. That's down compared to what it was last month year to date, meaning our prices were off in the month of October this year, which pulled the appreciation down from a higher number last year. We're now at 6% higher this year than last year, year to date for all of Summit County. For Breckenridge specifically, 13% higher year to date this year than last year. So we're still pacing pretty well in Breckenridge, and Summit County still 6% up price-wise compared to 1 year ago. Oddly enough, Breckenridge for the month of October, again a snapshot in time, prices were actually down in October of this year compared to October of last year. So that's just one snapshot in time. In summary, Summit County real estate prices continue to climb in value despite longer days on market, increasing inventory, which gives buyers additional choices. There's not currently a situation where we're seeing multiple offers on every single property. So it's a calmer market, and yet despite that, prices continue to rise. As we've seen historically around Summit County, it remains a pretty solid investment if you want to hold your property for the long term. Now, one quick prediction about the future. We just saw the Fed reduce interest rates again by 1/4 of a point, and they've got one more meeting in December before end of year. So my prediction for 2025 is that we're going to see yet another 1/4 point reduction in December, and we're now post-election, whether your side won or lost. What it does do typically, we see people free to make a decision now about their real estate investing because they at least know where the chips have fallen. And so I predict we're going to see a flurry of activity as we move into the last couple of months of this year and into the beginning of 2025 as interest rates float down. Now, as always, if you've got questions, if we didn't answer something here, I hope you'll reach out to us, give us a call, send a text. We are always here to help guide you in your research and eventual purchase or sale around Summit County. Thank you.